and welcome to Great Getaways. On today's show, we're going to be enjoying some fabulous fall weather here in the Houghton Lake area. We're going to be spending time in the woods as we do a little bit of hiking and a little bit of canoeing. We're also going to visit a pumpkin patch. This is going to be a real family-friendly show, so bring the kids in the room, sit them down, relax, and enjoy the show. Today's show is underwritten in part by East Bay Lodge, located on the shores of Houghton Lake, offering year-round vacations. Once you've been here, you'll want to return again and again. East Bay Lodge, bringing families together. Northwestern Bank, offering complete banking and trust-related services from 23 offices throughout northern Lower Michigan, including Houghton Lake. Northwestern Bank, I can do that. Houghton Lake is located right in the heart of mid-Michigan, close to everywhere. So when you plan your next fall getaway, here is a travel planner that will put the fun in fall. A massive, remote, old-growth forest is hidden in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula. This jewel, little known to even many Michiganians, is the Lost Twin Lakes Foot Trail. The Lost Twin Lakes Foot Trail is located 7 miles south of Houghton Lake on Reserve Road, or County Road 400. This 3-mile loop trail winds through a breathtaking old-growth pine forest that will put you in awe of their majestic beauty and size. Saved from the lumberman's axe, it is an excellent hiking and cross-country trail with several bridges, including a covered bridge, and scenic overviews of pristine wetland areas. Our guide for today's trip is Wade Whittington and his family. So we're going to see now the old growth. What types of trees are in the old growth?
Well, I'm sure you know old growth forest means trees that haven't been cut in a long time. In this area, especially between here and Meredith particularly, there's been so much cutting that personally I'm a little concerned about it. And there's a push lately to make this designated a permanent old growth area, which would be a very good idea.
That way you would never have to worry about it being cut.
Kids could come up here and they could see the way forests are really supposed to look, not just a bunch of small new trees.
Now we're looking at mostly pine or conifer type forest here. We've got hardwoods and...
Yep. This area, there are 3 different kinds of oaks mostly, and lots of white pine, red pine, and the newer growth is, well, we call it popple around here.
There's a trail map located on the legend board in the parking lot as you arrive. The handouts were gone, but that's not a problem as the trail is well marked and easy to follow. If you would like a map to the trail, you can download one online at our travel planner page for the Houghton Lake Fall Guide. As we continued on the trail, we came across a trail map, and Wade explained where we were and the different trails that you can take.
Most people, for no particular reason, tend to go clockwise. It climbs here quite a bit. When you get to this point here, you're right by the river, and you start climbing. And this is, probably 150 feet above this water here. It's really pretty.
Can you see the water down there when you're up? Okay.
You see water, swamp, just large watershed area. As you can see, there's 3 rivers coming in there. Wish I could tell you the name of them.
Well, I won't ask them. The day was everything you could want for the fall. Dry, crisp, with crinkling leaves beneath your feet. We soon came to the covered bridge that Wade had told us about. It went over a swampy area that was probably a swift-moving stream in the spring. Everyone plodded along, sounding more like clogging horses than a group of hikers. It adds to the outdoor experience when you pass over a bridge that's made just for foot travel.
Yes, we love this trail. We're not the experienced walkers that Wade and his wife are, but we certainly love to come out to this trail. We just found this jewel not too long ago, and we just instantly fell in love.
Joining along with Wade and his family were Agnes and Chuck Feldman. Agnes put together the itinerary for this venture, and along with Chuck was valuable in assisting us as we continued our trip. Don't forget your camera. There are memories that you'll want to relive over and over and probably come back many times. This is a great trail for the kids to explore and play. As we watch them play in the leaves, it reminds me of when my kids were young. As much as I enjoyed those days, I think my wife Marianne would still enjoy a trip like this. If you're an empty nester and are looking for a great fall getaway, you might find this the tonic that the doctor ordered.
Some huge red pines here, or Norway pines.
Oh, that's a nice stand.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Huge.
These are probably close to 150 years, I would guess, anyway, huh? Look at that. Those go way up there. Those are some nice
Probably
ones.
90, 100 foot.
Yeah. Nice trees.
Yep.
The term old growth describes an ecological condition where the forest vegetation is dominated by trees in the mature stages of their life cycle. Although this may invoke an image of huge redwood trees with ferns dominating a shady forest floor, Michigan's forests do not fit that picture.
Okay, this is the river then that you were talking about before. Oh yeah, that's a nice area. That's
a huge swamp there.
Yeah, I see that. It's probably full of wildlife down in there too, I'd imagine.
Oh,
Good spot for the deer to run off to if they want to hide out. Or one of these bear.
There's got to be tons of bear out here.
I would guess this looks like a good spot for them.
Yeah. I think there might be some better views a little farther up. How much farther you want to go?
I see trees have changed a little bit through here too. We're getting more into hardwoods.
Yep.
We got birch and some oak, and so
Quite a bit of oak and maple.
beautiful. Okay, go ahead. A lot of green still going on. It's
Our
amazing.
popular popple. We call it popple, but I guess it's aspen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Either or. I mean, they call it both. So
I guess popple is what the noise it makes when you burn it.
yeah.
Or gopher wood. If you throw it on the fire, you got to go for some more.
we made it to the top of the hill we were coming to, and the reason we came out this far was to so we could overlook. There's a river down here. There's actually 3 rivers that flow in here together, and we've got a nice view out over there. It's a little bit covered by leaves right now, but a little bit later, once the leaves fall down, I think it's going to be a real nice view. But like I said, we've reached the spot as far as we're going to go. We're going to turn around at this point. If we continued on, to be probably a couple more miles around, but we're going to call it good for today. The sun's starting to set a little bit, and we're going to head on back.
You can't experience the wonders of autumn anywhere quite like you can from a canoe. The air is cleaner, the colors more vivid, and the silence as you glide along in a canoe will bring out all the sounds of nature as if there's no one in the universe but you. As we left the Paddle Brave canoe livery and headed down the river, the sounds of our paddles dipping into the water was all that could be heard. Owner Tom Roberts was excited about this trip because running the business doesn't give him the time that he would like to paddle this beautiful river.
Now we're going to be stopping before we get to the Mason Track, and we were talking a little bit about the fishing that goes on. So we're talking trout fishing, number one. Correct. That's correct. Now, at this time of the year, though, the trout fishing is closed on the rivers.
That's correct.
Okay.
Catch and release only.
Oh, you can do catch and release?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Oh, here's a whole bunch of them right in front of us here. Yeah, look at them.
They know they're safe.
What are they?
What?
Trout.
Wow.
You can see them darting along. They'll be coming at
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
When you travel down the river, you'll see a wide variety of wildlife, from the ducks that we keep bothering to deer and eagles. They have even had a bear at the Paddle Brave campground.
Okay, so what do you have there? Talk about your place if you don't mind.
It's a rustic campground that has 33 electric sites in addition to the rustic campground. We're set up for the modern camper as well as the tent camper. We're open year-round. We're a canoe livery, which includes kayaks and tubes, as well as
You will enjoy the solitude that surrounds you as you travel down the Au Sable in the fall. The old growth trees that are around every bend are a delight. Even the cottages that dot the river are an inspiration for a quiet getaway.
Pines, and they're all protected for the most part. And the only way they come down around the river is either wind or water erosion.
Now, are some of these, judging by the size of them, they must have been left over from the logging times, huh?
Yeah, they missed a few somehow. But this river at flood stage in the spring has been full of logs made from trees like that.
Now, how high up will the river come?
The river will go right over these seawalls and halfway up the banks you see right now.
No kidding. You get a lot of flow through here then.
A lot of snow melt.
Now, what time of the year generally does that happen?
That'll be right after the snow melt, late March.
Okay.
4 miles up here to the Mason Track, and you're committed to 4 hours of paddling through about 11 miles of wilderness.
Okay. That'd be a nice area to go through, I imagine.
Oh, it's the best. People come from Alaska and compliment us on the
No kidding.
Yes. Just had a guy here this weekend from Alaska. It's an annual trip for them.
Okay, well, you do have to.
Referred to as a sweeper.
And those are just any overhanging trees then that,
Right.
oh, sorry.
Those that have the potential of taking you out of the canoe or sweeping you out of the canoe.
Oh, and there then is the word sweeper then, right? Now, do you have a lot of those down along the river?
They're maintained, but they're always occurring. Every wind can bring more.
Oh, well, okay, that's true, yes, because they can blow across at any time.
Water level makes them more or less challenging.
Some of the sweepers were too big to go over and had to be cut for passage. Paddle Brave offers trips on the river that range in length from 1.5 hours to a 6-day adventure to Lake Huron.
Some of the best trout fishing in the country. People come worldwide to fish here and get some pretty nice fish too. I've seen many brown trout just this season, over 20 inches long.
No kidding. So there are some big fish. Now, is it all catch and release through here?
This is private shores, and you're allowed to keep them here.
Okay.
Once we get in the Mason Track or the state land, there's a limit in season, and it's catch and release only out of season, which we are now.
Now, is this some of the area that's known as fly only?
No, private shores you can fish any way you want in season, and once you get in the Mason Track, it's flies only.
Okay,
And
okay.
That's always posted at the bridges as you enter and leave areas.
Okay, so that's a good thing to keep in mind then. That as long as you're in here, you're under basic, your normal fishing regulations, but once you pass that point, they change.
That's correct.
Now we're down here fall time of the year, although we've got a lot of pines and we haven't got a lot of color change, which is surprising. We're kind of late into the fall, but we've had just some beautiful weather, so we're not seeing a lot of color change, and the colors that are here seem to be a little bit muted. But I would have.
If you look at your higher colors, your higher trees,
Oh,
they seem to have more color right
there's
now.
a good example right there, isn't there?
And that leads me to believe that as time goes on, the lower will turn too.
Okay.
If you get in some spots where you can see a long ways, and the river's a little wider, you see better color.
Well, I've seen a lot of trout swimming around. I know I'm coming into them first and they're running when the canoe comes over them, but a lot of them around.
You always see a lot of fish when you're not fishing.
Yeah.
Notice that?
Yeah, well, that's better than seeing them when you are fishing.
As we paddled, we came across a weathered boathouse and 2 youngsters sitting on the dock. It was a scene straight out of a Norman Rockwell painting. It just wouldn't be fall without a trip to the pumpkin patch. So our next stop is at Bart's Fruit Market for their annual pumpkin patch party with pumpkins, a cornstalk maze, pony rides, and of course, donuts and cider. I wonder if this is where the great pumpkin lives. Little kids were everywhere, on top of pumpkins, in the pumpkins, behind the pumpkins. And there were pumpkins of every size, little ones, big ones, and funny ones. This was a fall family trip at its best. Owner Jeannie Good tells us more about this yearly event.
Well, when you think of fall colors, you usually think of trees. But if you're running down here in Prudentville on 55, you're going to come down by Bart's Fruit Market, and it's just lit up down here. And it's lit up because we've got so many pumpkins going that are spread out around here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on, what you've got set up?
Well, we've got our Bart's Pumpkin Patch, and we've been doing it for years. We have schools that come in with the children, and field trips, and we set up a maze over here for them. We've got every size of a pumpkin you can imagine. I couldn't even tell you how many were out here.
There's a bunch.
And I love to hear all the noise in the back with the children. That just warms my heart. But I've been doing school projects. We've started a canned good food drive for Project Hope. I've done that for years. It just teaches the children giving, not just taking, but giving in return.
Okay, so it's a good spot for the kids to come in. It's actually set up for the kids, really. It's kind of they can walk around through the pumpkins. You've got places they can get their pictures taken.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
Like you said, the maze back here.
Yes.
Good. Now, you mentioned that you've got some cider over there. And,
yes, when we're done here, we're going to have some cider and donuts.
All right, that sounds good. Great place to bring the kids to. Beautiful color when you come down here. You can't miss it.
When you take a country ride to view the autumn colors, a great stop is the Fireman's Memorial. Located on County Road 103 near Roscommon, it's a monument dedicated to all firefighters who have died in the line of duty, with a wall bearing their names. This memorial is one of the few in the nation to honor these fallen heroes. A bronze statue of a fireman greets you as you enter the site. The park-like setting has antique fire gear and a small picnic ground. Each year, usually during the third week of September, a festival is held in remembrance of these brave citizens. During this festival, there is a parade, antique equipment demonstration, a memorial service, a light parade, music, dancing, emergency crew competition, and many more planned activities. It's worth the trip and the time for a visit to the Fireman's Memorial. Now, if you're looking for something a little more on the rugged side, not far away is the St. Helen ORV Trail. The St. Helen Trail is only one of 5 designated scramble areas in Michigan. A scramble area is where an ORV operator is not restricted to the use of the existing trails or pathways. The operator is able to travel wherever they wish, unless of course the area is posted closed. The St. Helen Trail consists of 1,280 acres and is operated by the Michigan Department of Natural Resources and is maintained by the Michigan Recreational Vehicle Riders Association. Tom Gallagher, the organization's president, took us on a tour of the grounds.
Some trails are strictly bike trails, narrow trails, 40-inch trails, and other trails are 50-inch trails, type of vehicles like we got here for 50, and this here's what they would call a route, but it ain't posted as a route. But any ORV, as long as you come out here with an ORV sticker, you can go out here and ride.
But this is one of the bigger areas in the state, and it does have a lot of trails around here. It's a good spot to come out here, and Tom's going to take us out on the trails a little bit and show us around to what some of them look like, some of the fun you can have out here.
Right, and actually there's better than 22 miles inside and also counting the outside boundaries that you can actually ride in here without leaving the motorsport area. And right now there's 4 trails that lead out of here.
Good. Well, a lot of good things happening. What do you say we jump in ATVs here and take a little ride?
Okay.
But here you start it just like a car.
Okay.
It's in neutral.
Okay.
It's shift patterns right here.
Before I could jump behind the driver's seat, one of the members gave me a quick course in safety and vehicle operation. For an owner of an ORV, this must be the perfect trail. Lots of moguls and sand in your face. This is a different kind of trail than I ever experienced. It's definitely not for the faint-hearted or for those that let a little dirt affect their enjoyment. I guess you might call this a trail for the very serious off-road vehicle rider.
Enjoy.
It was time to move on, and we would now go to a trail that I'm a little more experienced on, a hiking trail. The Marl Lake Hiking Trail is located in the South Higgins Lake State Park. This trail has 3 different loops that each follow along Marl Lake. They range in length from 2 miles to 5.5 miles. We will hike today with Jim Perales and his kids, Bailey the youngest, Jordan, she's the oldest, and Casey, who is the tallest. They have all hiked this trail many times and were great companions for another great fall family getaway. The Marl Lake section has ample parking, vault toilets, picnic tables, and outdoor grills. If you have a small boat, there's a nice boat ramp.
Hey, this looks like a real nice trail, Jim. Now we're just going to probably take one of the shorter loops today. How far was that going to be?
It's probably going to be in the neighborhood of between 4 and 5 miles. The short loop.
The short loop.
Yeah.
Okay, but there is a longer loop that actually goes out around and around most of the lake.
Yeah, if you look here at Marl Lake, it goes all the way over there and then loops back into the woods all the way around.
That's a nice walk then.
But what we're going to do is we're going to go out to about here.
Okay.
And then it loops back around and comes back
through the woods
and
then.
meets back in this area.
Excellent, excellent. Let's get started.
All right.
South Higgins Lake State Park is a 1,000-acre park split in half by County Road 100. To the north is Higgins Lake, and to the south is Marl Lake and 700 acres of forested maple, oak, and pine. The park contains almost 1 mile of shoreline along Higgins Lake, which is a large spring-fed body of water known for its clarity and fishing potential. Marl Lake, on the other hand, is considerably smaller, shallower, and less developed. This is a great family trail and one for a day trip. The trails are easy to follow with maps and markers all along the way. Bring your lunch and spend the day here. When hiking around Marl Lake, there are benches along the way to stop and enjoy the view over the water. As we stop to take pleasure in this pleasant scene, Jim tells us more about the area.
Jim, we've come along the trail a little ways now, and I've noticed as we've been going along, every once in a while we found one of these benches. Great little rest spots. We've got a nice view of the lake. Are these benches something that are set up all along the trail?
Yep, we're at one of, I wouldn't call it several, but there's a few along this way to stop. Perfect views of the other side of the lake, the water. Sometimes you'll see some birds flying around out here, but this is a nice little rest stop.
It really is. At this time of the year, too, one of the advantages is you've got the trees all the way along the shoreline, and you get to look out and see all the color that is out there.
Yep.
So that's really pretty, too. One thing I've noticed, real nice trail out here. Real easy to negotiate. We mentioned some of the pitfalls. You know, you've got roots in the ground and stuff you have to watch for, but the trail seems to be really...
The park was first opened as a campground in 1927 with 15 campsites. In 2002, the park marked its 75th anniversary with a dedication of 3 new toilet shower facilities, new electrical systems, and water upgrades. As the second largest campground in the state park system, the park's 400 modern campsites are situated in a hardwood shaded area. The park is very popular during the summer months, and reservations must be made early. This sunny fall day in the woods couldn't have been any better. Don't forget your camera, because this is another place that will produce those great vacation memories. The kids will love nature's playground with old-growth pines sticking their limbs out as if to say, "Come on, climb on." With a little help from Dad, Jordan, Bailey, and Casey all climbed to a big limb and waited to have their picture taken. As I watched the kids play, I couldn't help wondering how old the tree must have been to have gotten that big. This is just another one of the great sights along this forested trail. If you listen, you'll hear the constant drumming of a woodpecker digging out his lunch from the old dead trees that line this forest. Some areas must be better than others for these tree bugs. These trees here have pretty much been turned to Swiss cheese by Mr. Woodpecker. We're coming to the end of the trail and the end of the day. I really enjoy these fall trips to areas that are so close that you can easily come here for a day, a weekend, or a week. I know I'll be coming back, and I hope you have an opportunity to come here too. It's another great getaway. The Houghton Lake area in the fall offers so much to see and do, and for most of us, it's just a short drive away. For more information on today's show, including links to information from all our stops, you'll find it at our website at greatgetaways.tv. While you're there, take a look at our all-new travel planner. If you'd like a free DVD and additional information from today's show, just go to our website and fill out the form. Here is the Houghton Lake area phone number, 1-800-676-5655. 5330. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show. We had some incredible weather up here at Houghton Lake. As you can see, the lake is in the background right now and how beautiful it is, and it's especially nice at this time of the year when it's shrouded in its fall colors. We had a great time up here. The kids all had a great time, and I would suggest that anybody that wants to have fun in the fall to come on up here to Houghton Lake. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Today's show is underwritten in part by Springbrook Inn, a beautiful luxury B&B inn with in-room fireplaces, in-room jacuzzi, and private balcony, with fine dining also available. A romantic weekend is closer than you think. Super 8 Motel, with 70 clean and comfortable rooms, a continental breakfast, whirlpool, and sauna. Our friendly and efficient staff welcomes you to beautiful Houghton Lake. Maple Valley Restaurant. Built of more than 4 miles of western red cedar, the building is adorned with life-size carvings. And of course, great food.